Countdown is going off.
Oh, just in time. Perkins.
We have a special guest.
We have a special guest who
there might
has a lot of opinions.
Yep. Another one might show up named Charlie. We don't know. So, I'm on the bass. My name is Phil Nilsson. Over here on the bass is...
Hi, it's T Tizzle, and on the keys is Ann Perkins.
on the keys bass.
That's right.
You know, actually, I got that sound. I purchased the Spinal Tap soundtrack. It was like a soundtrack I've been wanting for over a decade, but it was like I never could jump to get it. And one day I was like, you know what? I want to listen to this.
Oh. Yeah. The Jump soundtrack?
No, the jump to get the soundtrack.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, I got the well, it's called this. I think it's this. This is Spinal Tap. It's the black cover. Honestly, I think they should have still called it "Smell the Glove."
Smell the glove.
So, when we tend to watch movies, we always see what in my opinion, it's a compromise between the studios and the director. And sometimes they're great, they're Oscar winning. Sometimes they're shit. And the director will take footage and put out a director's cut. And again, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're shit. But these are at least our favorite director's cuts. Then follow up with at least movies that we would like to see a director's cut. And I'll put for any Middle Earth people, we didn't count those as director's cuts because I remember when I went to go purchase The Fellowship, the theatrical cut, somebody told me about the extended editions. So it's a weird concept weirdness in my head.
Well, the weird thing about those ones was that I don't know, they knew they were gonna make them.
Yeah.
They knew, it wasn't. And that's the thing. He knew especially after the success of the first one, it was foredone deal that they were going to just put out special editions.
Yeah.
They were making stuff specifically for the special editions.
Yep.
So it's kind of a weird thing. Although, truthfully, a lot of these are kind of ambiguous in terms of, are they a director's cut? Are they a special edition? Are they a cut made not by the director, but a different person or the studio themselves? I got to admit that this was really difficult for me.
Yeah. No, same here.
Incredibly, because truth is, one, it was a small list to begin with, and then two, after going through and sort of looking at them and watching a couple things and comparing and contrast, I came out with a totally different, pretty much almost all of them. I came out with the exact opposite idea. So my list is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, not weird. It's expected, but it was super difficult for me.
Well, the one thing I noticed when making mine, okay, all mine, exception for one, were all rated R. I mean, and honestly, again, exception for Lord of the Rings, have never seen a PG-13 or a G-rated then director's cut. I mean, honestly, if there is, I would love to see that cut of Pippi Longstocking where she goes, her and her friends in a musical take out a big old bunch of bank robbers with big large sums of money.
It was a whole side plot they cut out. It's no good.
Yeah, and it was like, because I mean, I sort of did a research about director's cuts, and like one person who kept coming up was Ridley Scott.
Oh, Ridley Scott?
Yeah. Blade Runner, Alexander,
Kingdom of Heaven.
And it's like, it's either because it seems like either studio interference, and this is even by Alien when Alien came out, he was at least a well recognized name, and it's like the studio kept hamstringing him. Now, some of those movies, I probably won't ever watch, but it was just like, yeah, this is Ridley Scott who gave us some good, some good films, and the studios, again, their studios are off for the big money, the profit. They want the big, That's what always it came down to. But yeah, it was like, I think Ridley Scott had 4 or 5 movies, and then put a director's cut out.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why him in particular kept coming up. Yeah. I don't know why that was the more famous thing. Yeah. Because how directors get the ability to do it, like how they get the green light to get that kind of stuff going. Like, I don't know all the ins and outs of it. Yeah. But his name kept popping up.
I think another one was James Cameron.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose one thing that can be said is that it seems like really only big budget movies get indie directors probably don't get a lot of ability or time or money to do another cut.
Yeah,
and probably a lot of the times the cut that they make is the one they want. Yeah, I could be wrong about that though.
Okay, well then I want to see that director's cut of Clerks. Yeah, no.
Oh.
But yeah, no, because I'll tell you, the studios are fronting this big amount of money. It's like they want, they have a vision what they want to see, but sometimes they clash. I mean, one of them on my list, it was like, I think it has the same amount of cuts as Ridley Scott's. And an honorable mention, or like, the only reason I've got the honorable mention was because people were telling me to go watch it because it was weird. All right, so should we start with our number 3 director's cut?
Yeah.
All right, so
let's do that.
All right, well, my number 3 is Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers.
Oh, okay.
And I'll admit, first time I ever did see it was the director cut version, and then I went to go watch it not knowing it was the direct. I went to go rent it another time not knowing it was. I had seen the director's cut, and it was like, wait a minute, where's that scene? Where's this scene? And I don't know. Like, to me, I like it because how it is more vitriol. It's more dark, darker and stuff. And I think does has it. You see a different narrative being weaved into.
What do you remember? So was the because I don't remember. I can't compare and contrast. Uh, was there like a subplot that was reintroduced, or was it more like things were just lengthened and
it was just like linked in because they added in like the court scene, and even Oliver Stone admit like reason he had cut it out because it was like Mickey and Mallory's like redemption arc. Well, there as a redemption arc, and all of a sudden like while he's doing the I'm being my own lawyer, and I think it was Ashley Judd was the person he was grilling. Well, I'm saying that because I watched too much Law and Order, and like in the midst of it, all of a sudden he just goes on. He just kills her like right in the middle of the courthouse, and he was like, "Yeah, that like I'm trying to give them a bit of a redemption," and all of a sudden he just goes up and kills her in the middle of the. And it was like, but it wasn't. It was like it was done through that. Robert Downey Jr.'s character, like it was like shown through, like, because it wasn't shown. It was like they were caught. Then there was the trial. Like it was it was a Hollywood Access, like, here's the footage from the court case and stuff. And then, like, apparently they also cut the scene where Tommy Lee Jones's character, like, you don't see it like in cut off, but like when the riots happen, it like you see his head on like essentially on a spike being carried around.
Wow.
Stuff. And it was just like, I don't know, it's just like, I think it was just that, it was just that era, I was being introduced to like new music, Marilyn Manson was probably on my constant playlist. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, okay. But it was like, it's like, definitely one of my favorite cuts.
Was there anything about him being dismayed by the theatrical version? Or mad about it?
Didn't seem like it. To me, I think unfortunately, like most of mine were, except for the second, were all it was like vanity pieces because it was hard to this one was hard to find that we had sort of had set up like with Ridley Scott. Mm-hmm. That didn't turn into just to me it was a vanity piece because I easily could have put Alien or Aliens on this, but I didn't want to do that. But it was like,
Okay. Well, that's cool, man. I haven't seen that movie since I first saw it.
Yeah, I think I actually saw it. I think I saw it over at your place.
Sweet. That's right.
This is the person that corrupted me.
Corrupting the youth since 1986.
Nice. All right. So,
all right,
number 3.
All right, number 3 for me, and this might be a controversial pick, but it's Donnie Darko.
Okay.
Donnie Darko's director's cut. And it's a controversial pick, rightly so, because there are certain aspects to the original that are better than the director's cut, in my opinion. There's probably a lot of things that are good. And honestly, I haven't seen the original version in quite a long time.
It's on Tubi, I think.
Is it the original, though?
Original.
Oh, okay.
And I actually had just watched it on Shudder with Joe Bob Briggs' last drive-through.
Nice. Well, yeah. Well, I'll say the one thing that the original gets better is definitely the music.
Okay.
Like using Echo and the Bunnymen in the beginning is just way better than INXS. Well, it's better than INXS, but I don't think it's way better than the INXS song.
Okay.
Like, so that's probably why it's my number 3, is just that choice in itself. But I just like, and again, this is also something a lot of people don't like, but I like, they had in the director's cut, they have an inclusion of the time travel book and pieces of that.
Okay.
And kind of intersperse them in as the movie goes on, and I think it's awesome. I think the sayings are awesome, and I think they put perspective on what's going on that I like. A lot of people don't like it, but I like it. Although that's also super weird because I like them so much, but the director himself, like, is such a it's unbelievable that this director made this movie.
Yeah, it was his first movie.
Yes, but it's because of his personality. He's a bro. Like he's like a sports bro.
Okay.
And it's unfathomable how he made a movie so good. It's unbelievable, actually. And in fact, I remember one time, like, there's a bit of a video where he's he's talking to an audience,
yeah.
And some dude like starts asking him about like the book and like the time travel and how it works and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the director's just like, dude, it's a movie. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just a movie. And you're just like, how did this guy make this movie? Like, how? Yeah. And I think it's so cool, but like he's so flippantly, he's just like, oh yeah, you just made it, bruh. It's over, done with. But my next movie, Southland Tales, is gonna come out soon, and it's gonna bomb. It's gonna bomb horrendously because it sucks. But anyway, yeah, overall, yeah, I like the director's cut, and yeah, I think it's just slightly better than the original, despite music differences.
Okay. Yeah, no, I actually watched it on Shudder like literally last night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so apparently I love Joe Bob Briggs because it's like this dude's got knowledge and stuff, and apparently the director said this. He goes like, watch if you want to watch the movie, watch the theatrical cut, then go watch the director's cut.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. I can totally agree with that. Yeah. In fact, yeah, I think that's a good way to do it because the director's cut will just give you a little bit more context, but it's good in a rewatch to get that context. Yeah. So I agree with that completely.
But yeah, apparently like he went to college, graduated, got a degree in something else, but apparently was a fan of this this one professor who he coined this phrase like the person who it's like when the movie comes out, it's the vision of the director and stuff, which is still like prevalent in at least still prevalent in Hollywood according to him, and that they're finally breaking. It's not it's not the person who also does the lighting, who does the sound too. And this is what Joe Bob Briggs was saying and stuff.
What was he saying about the people who do?
Like apparently, so this professor was a like the person like it's the director's vision and stuff.
The director's cut is the director's.
Well, no,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So like when we're seeing a movie, it's like the only vision matters is the director's. You don't listen to the audio person. Don't listen to the lighting person and stuff. I mean, if you do see, the Joe Ball Briggs episode of doing it, if anyone has Shudder, watch it. He explains it a lot better than I can. But it was just like, but apparently this was, what this professor said was like, for longest time that was like cemented in Hollywood for the longest time, and now apparently it's finally like people are trying to break that mold and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. There's a lot of people that work on films, like it the director is the top of the food chain. The director has the ultimate vision and goal, but the people that works under him, they put their thumbprint on the movie.
Yeah.
The cinematographer, the editor.
Yep.
Like, the movies are the way they are because of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just director.
All right. Should we just do we want to do our third one for movies, or do we want to just continue to?
Let's just continue this one.
Okay. So, all right, number 2, Apocalypse Now.
Oh.
And so the version I saw apparently is the version that not a lot of people like is the Redux version, and I want to watch I think it was called the director's cut version. I think there's also a final cut version too.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I partially did see the theatrical cut, but I think it was like I had saw the Redux version, and it's one of those, by this time I knew what director's cut, when they do director's cuts, not knowing what this Redux version. I still don't know what the Redux version is. If it was supposed to be softer colors, was it did it add like 3 extra minutes that as Sheldon put it for Raiders, add a whole different dynamic to the film. But it's like I liked the Redux version for certain, because maybe that was my first introduction, because I actually I want to watch Apocalypse Now.
I want to watch Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. I still want to see I want to see a musical version, thanks because of the because watching The Critic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Well, man, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the director's cut of that, or any other cut than the first one.
Yeah, I mean, and this is definitely one of those that, God, now I'm giving Oliver Stone and Francis Ford Coppola. I think that was his Francis Ford Coppola's. That was definitely because apparently at the end of it, there was a narration done by Harrison Ford, and it was put in there by the studio, and no one wanted to put this apparently narration in it.
God, they love putting Harrison Ford narration over shit.
Yep.
They do it all the time.
But then I think it was I also couldn't because I wanted to watch Apocalypse Now, but I couldn't find the director's cut and saw the Redux. I'm like, oh, I bet you it's just they're trying to make it sound fancy. It's not the director's cut; it's the Redux cut. Mm-hmm. But no, apparently it's a whole different. I think it is the longest cut. It's the longest version of the movie, if I saw right.
And did he do it? Did Francis do the Redux cut, or is it like a studio thing?
I think it probably would be. It could be a studios. I wouldn't.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. No, it was Coppola. It was Coppola, too. So cool.
Because it was like, because yeah, that was one thing watching, going through, making this list. Apparently, were movies where it was a director's cut, but it was done by the director and the studio. And I wish I would have remembered which movies they were, but it was like, thought that was a funny thing finding out. So, what's your number 2?
Number 2, and this one's pretty standard. It's it's one could have guessed it. Blade Runner, Final Cut is my number 2. All the things we said about Ridley already, it's probably there too. But yeah, and I would say the biggest part of that is that was the thing about. I think I had seen, because there's several versions of this cut. I think I had actually seen the TV cut before the theatrical version, and I don't remember. I'm pretty sure the TV cut did not have Harrison Ford's narration or voice of God or his inner monologue stuff. I could be wrong about that. I just remember when I watched the theatrical version for the first time and that came up, I was like, "Oh, this is horrible. This is absolutely horrible, man." And then apparently they love Harrison Ford just narrating over shit. And then they have the kind of cheesy ending where they're driving away and apparently use some of Kubrick's film from The Shining. Like they just straight up put it into the movie at the end.
Really?
Like it's just from The Shining. And they just put it in.
I wonder if it was like an FU or was it just...
No, they needed something. They needed like outdoor shots to like get out of the city and like establish that they're outdoors now or away from something. So yeah, that was always weird. But yeah, I'd seen that, but maybe it was the first director's cut that I had seen first. Which so I saw that first. Doesn't have the narration, doesn't have the cheesy ending. There's a couple of different little things that are changed about it, but and that was in '92 that the director's cut came out.
Yeah, I remember that was like a big deal when that came out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean because the original was in '82. It was like 10 years.
Yep.
10 years of waiting, but then the final cut came out in 2007, and it's not much different than the director's cut. It's got a different kind of color grading. It's like it looks greener overall, and it looks crisper, and it just looks better on like nicer TVs and stuff like that. And that's really it. Like it was a
cleanup job.
It was a cleanup job. It's slightly more graphic.
Okay.
In a couple scenes. There's not much difference between the final cut and the director's cut. But yeah, in terms of just, is it better than the original? That I think this one is a definite in that regard. So, and it's an easy answer. So that's why it's my number 2.
Honestly, I want to watch, see if I can find, watch the theatrical cut of Blade Runner. Because I've got, I think, the final cut version, like on Blu. I think I was on Blu-ray. It was like $5 one day at Walmart. But it's like, yeah.
Man, I thought I had Blade Runner. I thought I had the theatrical version on Laserdisc. I thought I had it, but I couldn't find it. So I guess I don't. But I think I'll definitely get it if I ever find it. I'll get any Blade Runner on Laserdisc if I find it.
I wonder what happens if they put it on when they start putting it on 4K. Is it going to be a new cut?
Well, I think the final. I think they put out the final 4K.
Okay.
I think they just did a 4K version or an Ultra HD version.
Okay.
Like recently. which probably looks great.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's my number 2. Let's go to number 1.
Number
one.
All right, so mine is a little bit weird because it was like when it was released, it like literally was not rated, and if you and retroactively it got put as a rated X, and this like has 3 different like versions. That there's a theatrical cut, a director's cut, but it's more like a producer's cut, a European cut, and I think there's a fourth. There's a fourth cut, which is like the shortest version, but it is 1978's Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay.
And like I know there's the director's cut, and then apparently who's that? He's a famous horror Italian horror director and stuff. Did Suspiria and all that. My brain.
Oh, Giallo.
Yeah, if I remember the story right, is he helped front the money to George A. Romero, nice. And so that's why there's like apparently like 2 different. I think there's 2 European cuts. One.
Okay.
And one of them is like it's like a lot more like fast pace. Gets straight more into the action. You don't see the zombies as prevalent. But then we also have like the theatrical, the director's cut that was here put in America. But there's I think like a 2.5 hour version. I have to find that. I think I got it on DVD somewhere, but it's like 2.5 hours, and it's just to me it's just more like stuff that was filmed, and it's like, we got to cut it for time and all that. It didn't enhance the story, but it's just one of those, it was supposed to just like background stuff. And it's, Dawn of the Dead, which is like my all-time favorite zombie movie.
Have you seen all 4 of them?
Yes, and
nice.
the faster pacer one was really hard to watch, just because it was just. Because also they changed. I think they changed the music in it too, or at least sped it up, because it was just like, wait a minute, I feel like I should be here in this part of the movie, but we're already to the mall, and Flyboy's been not Flyboy, the blonde hair FBI agent guys just got bitten. Why does this feel so fast?
Yeah, the Italians, they need that fast pace.
Yep.
Man. Well, that's sweet.
Yep. So, what's your number 1?
Again, it's pretty standard. Sorry, but I've thought this for a long time. Is 1986's theatrical version came out in 1986, Aliens. And the thing is it's not called the director's cut. It's called a special edition.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, it's a director's cut.
Yeah.
Although truthfully, it's a TV cut. Like, they showed this on broadcast television way back before they even brought it out for DVD release.
But okay, so did
Blu-ray.
Did the TV cut? Did it have the fired on the machine guns?
Because I mean, apparently yes. I do remember. I remember watching. Well, I don't quite remember that scene, but I do remember the Hadley's Hope scene on TV.
Okay.
And maybe they had a totally different cut for TV that had something but not other things. Maybe that's the truth. Yeah. And so maybe they brought some things in every now and again, and then just decided finally, DVD comes. Let's make a special edition. Let's just add the things, all the things. I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember when I would get an occasional film magazine, and one of them happened to talk about the missing scenes from Aliens, and one it was the Hadley Hopes, and it showed had the picture of the dad with the face hugger on him, and but apparently there was I don't know if it was a mock up photo, but apparently there was a photo of one of the xenomorphs, like looks like he's like sort of hanging on a aircraft, because it's the way it was filmed, like it's looking downwards, and you see it like looking up, trying to get up to them. Yeah, it could have been a mock up photo, like, but it was apparently these were scenes that were like, why weren't they put in there and stuff? What this article was saying. And then I eventually heard about the the director's cut, special edition coming out. Then it says with the first face hugger scene.
Oh yeah, okay, so
Excuse me.
wow, so this was so it was piecemeal. Okay. So like they had a couple of deleted scenes, like they aired on TV.
Okay.
And then they put some more, and then they put some more into, or the rest basically, and it was like fully realized with the laser disc, which I have.
Okay.
And that was the first time the special edition was like, in essence, complete, I guess.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think all of the editions make it just better. Like, talking about Ripley's daughter, Hadley's Hope scenes, and all the Sentry gun stuff, like makes everything make way more sense. Yeah, because like everything sort of already made sense, but it just hell, and they're cool scenes too.
Yeah, I mean, even like when Ripley's in front of the basically being torn apart by the chair members, that scene still was like amazing. You see the background, she's after being in hibernation for X-Men, seeing her old crew members, I was like, that's a cool scene.
Yeah, and the Sentry gun scene I think is really awesome. Like it's like, and it just makes perfect sense, and it actually shows, because I did always think that it felt a little off that because they talk about it when they're planning stuff, and then you never see it in the theatrical version. And it's just kind of like, oh, they just got through. It's like, oh, okay, but like what? Yeah, they had this whole thing about it, and it just looked it was awesome. Yeah. So, I just think overall, it doesn't really hurt the pacing that much. It doesn't. It just helps. It doesn't hinder in any way. So, and it's not that much longer.
No.
So, just perfect, like, extra little bits, and just makes for a better film. So cool. Yeah, that's my number one.
Cool. So I've got a couple like honorable mentions.
I got a couple of I don't know the answer. Of I don't know which one's better.
Yeah, one of them that actually you've already have mentioned that's on your list, Donnie Darko.
Okay.
And it was like, I remember liking this, because mine was the director's cut, and it was like I remember watching it. It was like I liked it because it was weird, and I didn't, watching the tentacles and stuff, and then it was like in preparation for this, I'm like, you know what, and I was just goofing off the night I was wanting to watch something and saw Donnie Darko. I was like, you know what? I actually better watch the theatrical cut.
Yeah, and you liked it.
Yeah, and I liked it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the other one, American Psycho.
I didn't realize they had a director's cut.
Yeah. Well, it's called the uncut version,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, no, it's just because it's already a great movie. It's like, okay, hey, yeah, director's cut.
Cool.
So, all right, we'll take a couple of minutes. Oh, do you have?
The only one that I even wanted to talk about, and I didn't know where to put it at all.
Okay.
That's just it. Is Legend, and the thing about that is that it's not really a director's cut in comparison, but it's like it's the U.S. and European versions. And I always remember I didn't I grew up with the U.S. version.
Yeah.
And that has the Tangerine Dream soundtrack.
Okay.
Do you have you ever seen the European version?
No.
That has a completely original score, like a symphonic score by Jerry Goldsmith.
No.
Yeah, and they're cut very differently, and they're kind of almost two different films, especially because of the music. And I just kept trying to think, and then apparently there was a director's cut that was made somewhat recently that was much longer, but then he went back to the original Jerry Goldsmith thing, but I couldn't find it.
Huh.
I wanted to watch it, but I just couldn't find it. And but I didn't know how to. And but that's the thing. It's like I like the U.S. version better, which is our theatrical version. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's the original version that I like better than the director's cut version. So I can't really use that. But so I just wanted to mention it.
So no, okay. So apparently another movie that sort of there's a different version, Neverending Story.
Now that would be fun. That'd be fun to see.
Yeah, because so I didn't know about. There's a YouTube guy named who's Minty's Comic Arts. It's a guy. He's a guy from Australia. He does a lot of facts you didn't know. That's what, and some of the facts I've learned about is actually from his channel, and so apparently in the European cut, I'll just put it that way. You see the Gamorg, the wolf guy, like early in the film, and the guy who was making it apparently went to Steven Spielberg and Spielberg said, no, don't show, give it when we first see him, the lightning, you see the green eyes and him dashing out, like that adds the horror to this, the scariness to this guy, because apparently when you do see him, it's like you see him, he's standing there, but it's like he's not really moving, he's just look, he's hunting and he's looking down and he's just you see his body just moving slightly. It has, if you ever pull it up on YouTube, it has the footage of it.
Holy shit! I just found a website that shows them compared shot by shot.
Yeah, and apparently the
oh my god,
the wolf's voice is deeper in our version. Oh yeah, and the Irish looking guy apparently has a whole has his voice is a whole lot higher.
Oh, you know what, man? I have a feeling that I saw the European version on television or something. Because now I'm getting, one shot, they show the Gamork in the swamps.
Yeah.
Of sadness, after Atreyu gets away. Yeah. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and I think that actually was in a television cut too, because I remember that.
Oh yeah, interesting. Cool.
But yeah, so we'll take a minute break.
Quick break.
Yep. So enjoy the little break window of my Monster Hunter play of me riding a pig. I'm not. Wiggle stick. Is it sad when you can't remember what buttons you need to push? Opa!
Opa! Oh shit.
Well, I know it was just. To me, it was interesting actually looking up some of these movies to, find out like why why they put the decided to do the director's cut. 99% of them were like, yeah, because studio interference. They didn't, or like they had to sort of cave and say, all right, yeah, we need to put this movie out.
All right. Well, I guess yeah. This next section is just just commentary on the three films that we would like to see a director's cut on. For what and mine is there's several three distinct reasons why I think it should be have a new cut. Although, well, my number one kind of cheats a little bit. But anyway.
No, I think mine definitely cheats because of the format of it. The format they would have to go to.
Okay. Well, my first one, number 3. And this is just, and I don't know. I don't really know if it'd be a director's cut, but it's really more, I want an uncut version of this film. Because apparently one exists somewhere. and there's a lot of people say it doesn't exist. Some people say it does. Predator 2.
I think I remember actually, yeah, seeing a director's cut, like at at a department store, and it was just like, it was one of those like, really, there's a director's cut.
Oh, well, if that was the case, it was an unofficial one.
That's why
It's never been.
that's what I'm thinking.
Because if that was real, a lot of people would be very interested in that.
Yeah, because no, I remember seeing movies that I saw a director's cut, but then I try like find it on Amazon or something, and there's nothing. It's like, I know that I saw a director's cut version of this, and maybe it was someone bought this, went to the studio, was like, hey, give us this money, we'll put a director's cut. And maybe it was like it was horrible, and the studio probably buried it.
Well, yeah, it might be rumors that like they had a more like, and well, they did have an NC-17 when it was first put to like test audiences, so there's got to be some footage that's gone.
Yeah.
And it already is pretty fucking bloody and gory and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, I was just always been like super curious if there's any truth to those rumors, and if there was, I'd be super down to see it.
Cool. My number 3 is The Crow.
Oh.
Because there is footage, like, and a lot of it has to stem like when Eric Draven's character gets there's a skeleton. If you read the comics too, there's a skeleton cowboy, and it's and the crow is like an ass. I think if I've heard right, is supposed to be an ass, is to guide him, but it's like it's also tell the crow basically, hey, Eric Draven's going off course. You need to come back and remind Eric to to only go to go do this. And there is footage and stuff of them. They had filmed it, and I think he's supposed to have a voice. And the guy who apparently who was under the makeup, I can't remember the actor. I can't remember the actor's name, but he was you see him on the cover of the Hills Have Eyes. He was also in one of the Mad Max movies. I think Road Warrior.
Okay.
And I would love, and apparently there's like just a few little other, just stuff that highlights Shelley and Eric's, relationship and stuff in there. I would love to see a director's cut of that. I think honestly, I think it's about time they put it out there.
Should have put it out there with the new movie. You're like, which one do you guys want to see more? Apparently, the new movie sucks. Yeah.
Like, it could have just been its own standalone, just put in, Crow Anthology note. They had to fucking do a remake.
Well, my number 2 is definitely cheating, in the sense that it's not so much a director's cut that I want. I just want it to be redone completely by the director, because it wasn't a studio that that messed things up or anything like that. The villain was just lack of money and time for the director.
Okay.
And that's Primer.
Okay.
Incredible film, an amazing film, and the dude had it was all funded by him, and it was made for $7,000, and every shot is the first take, except for like one. Every shot is the first take.
Yeah.
That's how little money
No,
he had to make the film. So and then it's sort of and the quality of the film falls off as it goes because he just ran out of money.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead. If you look at it, like, throughout the movie, like, I think by the time where everyone else is all covered in like dead, it's just ash. You physically see a coloration difference, and it was like I think like they were hurrying because they were like out of money. It's like let's squeeze the penny in it too.
And they got to redo it.
Yep.
So I would love for Carruth. I don't think he's interested in doing it, but to just actually make the thing without that kind of limit, to actually make the thing how he wanted to make it, or how he would have made it if he had more money.
I know this will sound ignorant on my side. Has he? What movies has he done since?
He did another movie after that, and apparently it was pretty good. But he's kind of fallen. He had there was this big plans to make for a company to give him money, and he had this whole story about piracy and something on the ocean.
Okay.
And having to do with laying infrastructure on the bottom of the ocean, something very very global kind of script, but it just hasn't, with a cast of Hollywood actors.
Yeah.
But it hasn't come through.
Okay.
Hopefully it does. Yeah.
Yeah, because a few lists I've watched and listened to on movies, that's always on some favorite time travel movie. Primer's always on somebody's.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's one of my favorite movies. It's just he didn't have enough to make it.
Yeah.
To make it completely. That's it.
I think it was
what he did make in one take for every shot was incredible.
And I think I tried to actually look it up, and I first looked on Apple, and I don't think they either had it or I just didn't see it.
No, it's on YouTube for free.
Okay, I'll just do that then.
Or at least it was. Oh yeah, there's a version.
Okay, cool.
With kind of it's slightly pipped.
Okay, camera vision.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 2 is, this could also for a bunch of horror movies I think got kneecap, but this is the A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, the Dream Child.
Oh.
And solely it's just because they kneecapped all the kills.
Oh yeah.
But it was it was also even in the Friday the 13th movies, I think it was number 7. It was obvious all the kills happened off. Apparently they were pretty grisly, but the studio's no, it's too much, too much. And I think in 7, they all happen either on screen or severe close-ups and stuff. But it was but in Dream Child, the one they had sunk the most money in was the Dan transformation into that Ghost Rider looking thing.
But there is a cut somewhere, right?
There is a cut, yes. But
it's like a Japanese version or something like that.
See, the thing is, I remember seeing it actually on cable television. It was on on USA Up All Night.
Nice.
And it was just I'm wait a minute, why is this seems more gruesome? And it was again, Minty is like, yeah, no, studio basically like, oh, this is think about the people who's going to be new to this franchise. It's like this will scare them to death, and it's like, if they're coming in to see a horror movie, they should expect they're going to see a horror movie. I mean, and I was like, I think I was another guy I watched on YouTube. It's called Joe Blow, JOBL, and he basically said it was like, apparently sort of like Freddy's Revenge. It's now sort of given it's seen as a gem as it is and stuff. Is it a great movie? Not really, but it has a message, which I do think it put it gave Fred a instead of like, oh, we have to, it didn't follow the same formula. Oh, gotta wait till this teenager falls asleep. It's using this unborn babies as a conduit. Now how the baby knew to go after Dan, after Mark, after Greta, because I'm pretty sure the baby couldn't hear those names. But yeah, I think that, and supposedly there's Shout Factory apparently has the rights. Or this is all rumor. Apparently they're going to do a updated blue, at least to Blu-ray, and some people are apparently petitioning to put a unrated version or director's cut of at least 5.
Nice.
So, cool.
All right. Well, my number one, and going back to a franchise I've mentioned earlier, and it's something we've definitely never gotten, and I'm being very strict with the term director's cut here. We never got a director's cut of this movie, Alien 3.
Well,
Alien 3.
I know there's one called the Assembly Cut, I think it is.
Yes, there is. But that is not Fincher.
Okay.
And very, very widely known that is not Fincher's cut. That is like a studio cut, which is, I've only seen it recently, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I know, a couple weekends ago, we were actually me, Rob, and Frank were talking about it, because I think we were talking about because Rob went and saw Romulus, and Rob's like, "Hey, I got the Assembly's cut," and I go, "Hey, bring that over one of these times. We'll see it." And he was supposed to come over the following weekend, but he never showed up.
Have you never seen it?
I've never seen it.
I got you. Yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely different, and there's a lot of cool bits about it. It's got more stuff on the surface of the planet.
Okay.
How the alien's made is completely different, or it's completely different.
Okay.
There's a kind of a subplot with one of the prisoners that is completely removed. And there's a lot of little bit of extended scenes with the prisoners. Okay. Which is cool. Yeah, it's a cool cut, but it's not David Fincher's cut, and that's the prime example of studio interference.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't let him make the movie he wanted to make.
Well, if I heard right, the start of that was hamstrung by the studio, because apparently the first teaser they indicated it was the alien, the xenomorphs come to Earth.
Yeah, there was a ton of different scripts that was made. Yeah, it was bandied back and forth, all that Hollywood stuff.
Yeah.
But eventually they gave it to David Fincher, and he had a script, and he tried to make a film, and they just kept fucking him up. And to the point where I don't think he basically didn't stay to do the edit, if I remember correctly. So it was just never his film. So, but he'll never do it. He's said publicly he'll never touch it with a 10-foot pole. And actually, recently, like Sigourney Weaver had said something where she's like, "I wish he would." Like, she's like, "I had a great time making it, and he was a great director, and it sucks that he never got to make the film he wanted to."
I mean, I actually did like Aliens 3 because, you know, to me, like, I think I've said in previous, you know, our previous shows, you know, it sort of like went back, you know, to what Alien. It was just one alien, but now it's like it has a lot more targets and a bigger play field.
Yeah, I love it. I've always been a defender of Alien 3. Always. I think it's, you know, it's the perfect end to the trilogy, in my opinion. But yeah, I just, you know, it probably would be better if he had just been able to, like, make the movie he wanted to make.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely would like to see it. It'll never happen, but I'd like to see it. Although people said that about the Snyder Cut, so. The 5-hour Snyder Cut, dude.
Ugh. So I don't since it's that's not a director's cut. That's just it was a it was Warner Brothers HBO apologizing to Snyder for kicking him off, firing him from as the executive producer. It was an apology.
I actually watched it. I did kind of like it, only in the sense that it was so long that it was like watching like a whole Disney Plus series in one sitting. It was just watching this huge long thing. So it was kind of cool.
So I think I heard somebody who watched it on I think it was on HBO Plus. Apparently you could watch it like as episodes. Like it was like each, I think it was an hour long or something, or they had a second button where you can watch it from, you know, as one long take.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I'm pretty sure you were sort of hurting though by it, like.
Yeah, a little bit. I had to take a break.
All right. So my number one, and this is Brett Pod definitely as a. Because you would have to literally completely make it into like a TV series, but is Akira, the Japanese animated movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, because first I love I love Akira. That's, you know, one of the like first 3 movies I watched. It was Vampire Hunter D, Fatal Frame, and Akira. Was it not Fatal? Oh shit! It was one of those like fight. It was one of those fight like Street Fighter, but wasn't like, I know part of the hero was Terry Bogard in it.
Oh.
And
Fatal Fury.
Fatal Fury.
Or Streets of Rage, one of those.
I think it's like Fatal Fury or something like that. But it was like, I always heard, you know, just how people just shit on Akira so badly, and I'm just like, how? And for the longest, I never saw the manga and stuff. And it wasn't until for a Christmas present, I think it was, my ex actually got it for the first volume of Akira. And I'm like, okay, well, and like immediately, like you reading it, there's a total different tonal shift to it. You know, the protagonist and the antagonist, pro and antagonist are not like friends at all. You know, and there's, you know, the subplot of the corruption of the government and all that. And it goes on, you know, in the manga, it goes for like 10 or 12 books. again, it's manga, so they're pretty quick reads and stuff. But no, I think they would have to do a complete, like, make it as a TV, like season 1, season 2, or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, that'd be a hell of a thing, right? I mean, I suppose you could probably do a cut of an animated movie, I suppose, but that would probably be way harder to do.
Yeah.
But then starting from scratch would also be really hard.
Yeah, and see, I and again, it's probably ignorance about it. Like, I don't know what, like, if there always was supposed just to be an animated, like, this was supposed to get the Western audience to start enjoying anime, or was it did the people like, no, it needs to be like a television series. I don't know if that stuff's out there. If it was now, it definitely would be a TV series and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, my only other honorable sort of idea would be, and that's just because everyone wants it, is the Event Horizon, which we know we'll never get.
I said I was going to say the same thing. but yeah, really only an honorable mention just because, like, there's never really ever been talked about, like, the movie itself, you know, just that part, just like very small snippets of like a scene. That'd be, I mean, considering that if they filmed it, if it was real, those poor actors had to go through all that shit, not be on the screen.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, hell, fuck, George Lucas. My only understanding was, like, he did the special edition, his special editions. It was because of the whole Jabba reason. I mean, he knew what he was doing, but he got out of control.
Well, shit, I had just seen like, I've seen like a few memes recently for whatever reason about the deleted scenes from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like all the stuff that's on Tatooine there's like a girl that's on there.
Yeah.
Koo Stark. And then Biggs having a bigger scene. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being cut from Star Wars and then going to go see it?
I mean, I think it's still insulting. Like, there's Luke sees the fight above, and they still cut that scene.
And then also didn't put it into the extended edition.
Yeah.
I mean, he put one scene with Biggs in the extended edition. But damn, God, that would suck. Oh God.
We need to have the Star Wars Biggs cut edition.
Yeah, I'm ready, dude. I got his mustache, dude. Man.
Yeah, no, I think it was on YouTube for a short time, but I think somebody, like, found those scenes and, like, spliced them into it. Mm-hmm. But again, YouTube, I bet you took it down. But because I remember seeing the photo of Biggs. It's like, why is he dressed like he's on planet when he's not in his X-wing outfit? Not knowing the truth behind it.
Although, yeah, I mean, I don't think the movie doesn't really suffer without having it, but goddamn.
Yeah, no, we get the unfortunate of Han Solo's them altering Han Solo shooting and Han Solo stepping on a CGI tail.
Pardon me, boy.
Hey, at least my theory still stands. Boba Fett makes everything better, but I'm also not the biggest Boba Fett fan. All right, so
Well, cool.
do you guys have your favorite director's cut or a movie that you would like to see a director's cut version? You know, are you like us going to hold out for the long lost director's cut of Pippi Longstocking? People are just like, "What the fuck are these
Pippi
guys?"
Longstocking goes rogue.
And the Pippi Longstocking was John Wick before John Wick.
Nice.
You know, getting a nice musical interlude. All right. So, I'm Phil Nilsson.
T-Tizzle.
All right. Thank you, and have a good night.
See ya.